Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Mage,
This is Seti Soso.
and we're going to be bringing you some more replays from the 2v2 Random Hero Tournament. For those of you not familiar with what it is, the Random Hero 2v2 Tournament was played last Saturday. And go ahead and unpause now, Soso.
Yeah.
And it was a 2v2 tournament put on by PlayFreeForAll.net. It pretty much had the same rules as any ordinary 2v2 tournament, except that every hero is a random hero. And the way that random heroes work are you are able to get a hero from any race. You have an equal opportunity of getting it from all four races or the tavern. And you can get up to two of the same heroes. So we've seen some interesting games with Dual Firelord so far. We saw a couple of Dual Liches, and it really makes it a more interesting aspect to see how people are able to adapt the game on the fly and see what works out for strategies and what's not going to work out. So this is the Game 1 game between Maiker and Abver, two of the most popular streamers and Warcraft 3 players in the community for the Russian community. And then it features AJK and Atheist P, who are two very talented players in their own right, and actually play a good amount of League still. So we can see that we're going to have a Undead and Human against another Human, or sorry, Night Elf Human and Night Elf Human for both races. Early heroes coming out, as well as some Ancient of War creeping for Maiker, where it looks like AJK, on the other hand, will be going for a Hunt build as opposed to Ancient of War creeping.
Yeah. I suspect that they'll get an expansion up quickly, but let me see. AJK might go for a rush, just because he doesn't have any AoE creeping.
Yep. And I believe that we could probably still see Atheist go for the Militia creeping, which would be one other way to take that expansion down early. If you are Night Elf and Human, then while you can't say that you mesh particularly well in 2v2 in general, you do have lots of options for fast creeping things. And Atheist will have his first hero come out momentarily. He does get a Mountain King, while AJK pulls off the Death Knight, a Warden for Maiker, and Abver is actually quite a bit behind on his hero. I'm not sure why that is, because it doesn't look like he has a build that's particularly out of the ordinary.
He started with a Barracks for some reason. I'm not quite sure why.
Actually, it looks like with the Wisp up there, I bet he thought he could Tavern a hero. One of the interesting tidbits is you cannot get your hero from the Tavern in this. The first time you do have to get it from the altar, you can then revive it from the Tavern should you so want to. Mountain King does gain a Tome of Experience there, while we do see AJK doing some harassment damage, trying to steal that creep, and he does successfully manage to do so. So Maiker will be down one major creep there.
Yeah, and the Mountain King is certainly a nice hero to start off with Human. I think that's a really good hero, and Death Knight is also good with the Aura in the later game, but right now he's not that effective, I think.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Interesting to see what the Unholy Aura will do for the hunts, though.
Yes, certainly so. And I think that while you don't want to get a Death Knight as your first hero for Night Elf, it's probably better to do it as Night Elf than the other ones, because you do have Moon Walls to help heal it up, and it does make it more constantly efficient if it can come in and do coils, go back, heal up, buy potion mana, something like that. But let's see what the base build is for AJK. It does look like he's going for a single Ancient of War hunt right now.
It looks like Abver got a Farseer too. That's a nice hero for creeping. Yeah, I think I like the Farseer. Yeah.
And it certainly goes well with Mass Footmen, because you can go for that just mass strategy. Maiker has not yet teched up. I believe he's going to go for the expansion before teching. Abver is not teched either. Meanwhile, AJK is about a third of the way there, and we do have Atheist has not started his tech yet either. So Atheist will probably be the one to grab the gold mine for them, while it looks like it may be Maiker that gets it for them, although there are a bunch of militia out here, so maybe it will be...
I think the Human will expand. It just makes more sense, because you'll have the expansion up quicker.
Yeah, that could be so, but I'm curious as to why Maiker has not started teching yet. I mean, he's only got one Ancient of War, so it doesn't look like he's going to try and go permanent 50 hunts all game.
No.
Oh, he's got two, you're right, yep. Yeah. I completely forgot about the Ancient of War, though. He's for creeping, so that probably will be the case then.
Mass Huntresses. Probably rifles for Abver.
Yeah, though he has not yet started his blacksmith to go over to those, but I think you're right, and that would not be surprising. We are going to have one of our first skirmishes here. Atheist does lose one of his footmen, but Maiker may lose a Huntress in return, and there we go. Chain Lightning coming in there and doing a lot of damage to these footmen, so the Warden and the Farseer could provide a much nicer combination than you would ordinarily think. Looks like it may be able to do a fair bit of damage. Death Knight able to chase down most of the stuff there now that has Aura, and it does look like it is helping the Hunt manage to take down a lot of these footmen pretty easily as well. Miker very close to losing another Huntress here, but Atheist has to be careful with all of his
King
footmen.
Is really low already.
But looks like aggressively going for the Farseer, and Coil will come back in 6 mana, and this is going to be very, very close as to whether or not the Farseer will survive. It is going to TP out there, and Atheist playing games with that Mountain King, but so far, so good, has kept it alive.
That Mountain King is just so effective against the Farseer, level 2 bold.
And he is using it very well against the Huntresses as well. We've seen many Huntresses go down, but he's going to be forced to TP out there, not going to try and tempt the Warden into killing him. So far, TP goes to each team, and early game, it does look like the slight advantage is going to Miker and Abver, but we have to keep in mind AJK has now hit Tier 2 and has his Ancients of Lore going up, so this could be problematic for Team Yellow if that manages to come up, because the Dryad's just so good against Huntresses.
And Miker just started taking himself, so he may also be switching to Dryads momentarily.
I have always found that very interesting when players look like they're going to go for dual Rex. Huntresses seem pretty committed to it, and then late game start teching. It seems like that almost never works out for that player. We'll see if it will work out better for Miker in this situation. But we do see that they are going to be doing a lot of damage to this expansion. Arcane Tower is almost done, but they're focusing more on the Peasants right now. I believe that to at least 4 they've taken down, probably 5 momentarily. And we'll see if Atheist and AJK can manage to push this off, or what's going to happen here. The Farseer is, interestingly enough, pretty far back in it, and Shadowhunter comes out as the second hero here, so this is just going to be nuking Central, and that poor Farseer stands no chance right now. It is going to go down momentarily, and the Warden itself has to be pretty careful as well. It does not have any mana for blinking away. I believe it did not skill to blink in general either.
This is just a really great hero combination. Death Knight, Mountain King, and a Shadowhunter.
Yeah,
just
that's
a hero killer.
Just nuke in general, and we can see all the footmen are going down pretty quickly right now. 1 kill's there, and a Hex on another footman that will go down pretty quickly. So Atheist is going to manage to maintain his expansion, and with that Shadowhunter as a second hero, you got to feel like things may be changing a little bit in the favor of our gray team in AJK and Abver. AJK definitely. And Atheist.
Yeah. And it seems like both human players were really slow when it comes to teching. I noticed that Abver, he was on 800 gold and like 400 wood before he started to upgrading to keep, because he was busy harassing. So that's not so good for them now, because he has to pump rifles to defend this, I think.
Yeah. I would agree with that. He does have dual barracks at least, so that is going to provide more of a ability to stay live, and the guard tower is almost complete for Abver as well, so that's going to be a nice spot for them to fight if they can get AJK and Atheist backed into those towers. It does look like they're trying to pull out now. AJK has started to get some of his Dryads, but he does not have enough to make a huge difference right now. The Warden is getting low again, though, and you can just see that this nuking combination is tearing them apart right now. AJK's Huntresses are getting very low. It looks like the actual army fight is going to Miker and Abver as we speak, but when you keep having your heroes die, then it's just really hard to do anything. The Farseer is going to go down too, to the surround that was pulled off by the Mountain King right there. Shadowhunter getting very low as well, and they may get their first hero kill, so there we go. Shadowhunter does go down. Looks like AJK and Atheist will retreat for now. The expansion for Abver does manage to stay alive, but the hero advantage is just going more and more in the favor of AJK and Atheist. That Mountain King has hit level 4. If that hits level 5, then none of those heroes are going to stay alive for more than 30 seconds once the fight starts.
Yeah, and while I do like rifles in 2-on-2 random heroes, I think they have to shape up here to get back into the game. Although losing that Shadowhunter in the end there was a big mistake. He had the aura from the Death Knight, so if he had just take care of that and got away safely, they would have been in a way even better position.
There we go. Death Knight does hit level 4, so we can see that AJK is switching over to Bears, which I like the call for that. We see a Blacksmith and a Lumber Mill going up for Atheist. I'm curious if that means that he's going to switch over to Rifles momentarily, or what units he's going to go, because you don't want to go double melee, so he's not going to continue with the Footmen. But
I'm really curious to see what he will do. I feel like staying with one barracks at this point without a Blacksmith or anything seems like a mistake, but he's building a Arcane Sanctum and a Blacksmith at his expansion, like a wall there, so that's pretty nice.
Yeah, and we do see 2 Arcane Sanctums going up, so presumably that will mean a bunch of casters and breakers. I'll be interested to see where the overall DPS will come from, if AJK is going to try and continue to mix in Dryads as well as Bears, or if he's just going to go straight to Bears, because I do feel like
he
they could
has
use...
Bears already.
Yeah. Let's see, are they putting up... There we go, Workshop. So the Mortars may come in as the DPS, and that'll be a pretty nice combination for sure.
Yeah, should be better than Upper and Micah, who are still going with hunts and rifles at this point. Yeah, but we'll see how that turns out. Rifles are definitely cool in 2-on-2 random heroes, so maybe they can pull something off.
Yep, and a Dark Ranger for the second hero for Atheist, so certainly a good hero because silence cannot be understated. It'll be interesting to see how it meshes in, and if it's going to manage to prevent any type of harassment from the Warden and Farseer, since they do have good AoE damage. But the big thing to notice is here, Micah has just now picked up his second hero, while the Shadow Hunter is about a quarter of the way to level 3 already. Blood Mage as a second hero for Micah, certainly not a great hero. That would have been a great hero, though, for Atheist to pick up if he could have used Banish in addition to all that nuking.
Yeah. Maybe they can do some flame strikes or something like that, but I don't see the Banshee the Bloodmages surviving that long against these hero nukes.
No, I completely agree, and completely forgot that AJK could pick up the Staff of Preservation. It's a little weird seeing a Death Knight staff something.
I'm also curious why Micah hasn't upgraded yet to Tire Free to get some bears in that combination with rifles.
Yeah,
that would be way better.
No, definitely. And let's see what item here was picked up. So Cloak of Flames for that Mountain King has taken out the red camp. Gonna go ahead and TP in here. Food-wise, let's see, we got 59 for Atheist. We've got 50 for AJK. We've got 49 for Micah and 73 for Adver. So Adver does bring a pretty big food disparity coming into this fight. You can see that yellow currently overwhelming gray just a little bit, and if they can bring down that workshop, that might make a big difference. Blood Mage being able to siphon mana could provide more of an advantage than I had initially thought, and the Death Knight has to be very careful here since it was almost surrounded.
Yeah.
Needs to bring one of those bears back.
The position is just really great here, where the melee can't get to the rifles because of that workshop.
Yeah, it's almost turned out to be a little bit of a bad news at the workshop.
The mortars come into play, and they have to back off.
Yeah, it's too bad they couldn't bring the workshop down just a little bit quicker, since that would have been nice to prevent any more mortars from coming in. And now we can see that the fight is turning over into Atheist and AJK's hands. The Warden does go down, but the other Warden goes down as well. So a good trade-off there by Team Grey, and I'm kind of surprised that we don't see Micah and Adver TPing away now. They are going to be able to bring down one of those bears, but the longer they stay, the worse it's going to be.
This game looks like over already, with the hero disparity and unit compositions.
Yeah. That level 5 Mountain King, level 3 Shadow Hunter is just ridiculous and hard to beat that. AJK continuing to chase down some more units right now. The Death Knight's aura really coming into play. And if Micah's not careful, he could lose the Blood Mage before too long as well. Does go ahead and siphon mana there, quickly comes off with a Death Coil, and will get back in time to get into the Moonwells, but very close to losing it there. However, it does look like AJK will back off here. Good decision on his part. When you've got the lead, you don't want to blow it to something stupid.
Yeah, I feel like the push they did, Micah and Upper, was a bit too slow, because they got caught off guard by that rush, effective rush Atheist and AJK did, and that hero kill combination that slowed them. Otherwise, I think a rifle plus the mass huntresses could have done great if they hit before.
Yeah, there we go. So Flame Strike is going off in a nice spot there. Actually does a bit of damage, but it's probably just a little bit too late. And there we go. GG is called by Micah and Abver. So that is game one going to Atheist and AJK. Actually a pretty close game there. If there had not been such a large disparity in hero spawns, I think it would have been even closer. And as you mentioned, if that push had just come maybe 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes quicker, then Micah and Abver might have had a better chance. But as it is, that is game one. Game two will be up on YouTube momentarily. For those of you on Twitch, just stay tuned. As always, thank you for casting, Soso.
Yeah, no problem. Happy to cast with you.
And we'll go ahead and move on to our next game.